What the fuck is going on, everybody? Welcome to another episode of the Chelsea Unfiltered Show. I am your host, Marshalldbdx, and today, unfortunately, Kai could not make it because of work commitment and issues. So we got you guys a guest. Will, welcome back to the show. How you doing, man?
Hey, I'm good, thanks. Thanks for having me back for this one-off special sort of thing. But yeah, I'm glad to
You
be
might
back.
be back again. You never know.
Never
You
know.
never know. But we're glad to have you here, man. And good timing too, because today we're going to be discussing a lot of fun things that I think you would love to discuss more so than
Yes.
Kai. So this is actually going to be neat. But guys, before we go ahead and start the show, before we go ahead and talk about everything we need to talk about that happened in the last week, make sure you smash the like button, please. Check out the links in the description to see my channel on there, the KH No Filter Football Twitter, which is run by Kai. And what else is there? Oh, they had a Discord. Join the Discord because we were just watching the Chesterfield game on there with everyone else together in sync at the same time. It was a fun time. And then make sure you subscribe if you're new to the channel. If you would like to leave a super chat, you can. This option is available for you, and we'll go ahead and post your comment up. And am I forgetting anything? Share it if you like. Leave a comment if you're watching in the future. There you go. But okie dokie. Let's go ahead and start with I guess a little bit of inklings of what happened last week dripped into this week, and we finally have like a resolution or like a closed case, I hope.
Yeah.
And so Romelu Lukaku finally came out with that apology. Listen, personally, me, it was PR. It was PR as hell. We know it was PR as hell. I thought it was PR jump. And I think with him, even if it wasn't PR, I think with Romelu, he's gonna have to just show it on the pitch. We'll see how this goes. If he's gonna be the professional that he says he's gonna be, right? But yeah, it just seemed like almost like he had a gun to his head, like, hey, you need to apologize. You can tell Chelsea told him, hey, get to the media team and apologize. And mind you, it is a video, it could have been just a written apology, but I don't know. It is what it is. At the end of the day, you have to keep him. He's not going to get sold in January. He might not even get sold in the summer. So like, I don't know. It's just, you have to kind of you get that one bad roommate, right? And you gotta, at the end of the day, you guys split rent. So you kind of have to just deal with it until you can't, because you don't have the money to pay for his half between you and some other person. So it's kind of like that, you got to kind of keep it professional, and you got to deal with it, because he was a record-breaking signing, and you really don't have goal scorers in the team. So that's how I feel about it. Will, I mean, did I sum up pretty much how you feel too?
In a way, yeah. I mean, with the first interview, I was like sort of fine with it in a way, because I sort of get his frustration about not being used right. The second interview did really piss me off. Like, I didn't overreact with it. I didn't really like. A lot of people were giving him hate, which I just think that what's the point? Just don't put your energy into that sort of. Don't put your time into hating on someone just because they annoyed you over a quote. If you get what I mean, it's just he said some stupid shit, and it was a bit cringe, the apology, in a way.
Oh yeah, for sure.
I'm happy they made him do one though. I'm
it
just
needed
happy
to be
that,
done.
I'm just happy that him and Tuchel have made up and everything's fine, because I don't think that it's done anything to really hurt the dressing room or anything like that. I don't think it's affected anything in that sense. I think he's obviously going to have to try and regain trust of the fans, but we look at what he's done this season. I think he's been good. I don't think he's been great, but that's injuries and whatever. So he's got 10 goal contributions in 20 appearances, which is pretty good, I guess. One goal, slash assist every 2 games is good compared to our other attackers. So yeah, I'm just gonna hopefully can kick on and do well, and he's got some goals recently, so hopefully he can help us achieve what we want to achieve.
Yeah, and it's great you mentioned this, because I feel like my biggest concern with the whole Rom thing was how the dressing room was going to react, how the club was going to react, who they were going to back, you know, and all in all, like first of all, the way Tuchel handled it, masterclass,
Mm.
masterclass. And you know what? In a way, I felt like Tuchel was like, "Listen, Lukaku, I've had a deal with fucking Mbappe and Neymar. You
Yeah.
ain't fucking shit, dog. Sit the fuck down. Shut the fuck up. Stop fucking talking. Don't do any more fucking interviews, some sexual fucking interviews, and let me lead this club because this is my fucking club." I think Tuchel just basically showed him who the fuck is the boss, you know, and the way he handled it, involving all the squad, the leaders in the group, and and just you know saying he wasn't angry and all these, not taking it personally. You know, he was kind of still defending Lukaku the whole time too. You know, it's
Yeah.
crazy. So the way he handled it was fantastic. But what impressed me the most was that Liverpool game kind of showed that the club, the squad backs him,
Hmm.
and the fact that he was dropped and the club said, "Hey, we back your decision to drop our most expensive asset," I
Yeah.
think is a very good sign for Tuchel, because any other manager, if it was like a Conte or a Sarri or Mourinho, like we don't know if that happens, you know?
Tuchel reminds me of. Do you remember Care Bears? He's just one of those happy Care Bears that just tries to make
Yeah, I
everyone
remember Care
happy.
Bears.
And he'd be the one with the smiley sunshine. That's what he would be. He just tries to make everyone happy. You know, maybe a bit of an
That's a reference, but
yeah.
I mean, yeah,
But
I get what you're saying. He's very good. What I've seen, what's been the most impressive thing about Tuchel, aside from everything else, tactics and the way his mannerisms and stuff, what's been so impressive is his ability to keep a locker room in unison, as a group together, a happy locker room. Listen, this isn't fucking Man United where 17 players are upset because of training. You know, like Ralph, he's looking at the Big Daddy Ralph Ragnick and be like, "Look, this is how he's done."
yeah, Wreck It Ralph. You know, Wreck It Ralph.
Jesus Christ, and Man United are in some shambles right now. Let me tell you, that team needs some reconstructing, some serious reconstructing. But yeah, that's been really impressive with Tuchel. I'm really happy that the club decided to back Tuchel on this, and that they've been supportive of him. And hopefully that translates into the transfer market, because yeah, let's talk about some of the games that happened this week.
Yeah,
What was the game that happened earlier this week? It was
Tottenham.
Tottenham. Tottenham.
Yeah.
Okay. Well, it's
Um.
fresh on your mind.
Yeah,
Tell
I
me what you think of the
rewatched it.
Tottenham game.
Oh, I thought I was quite impressed, but with us, but at the same time, that Tottenham team were absolutely shambolic. Like
Okay, I
honestly,
wasn't the only one that thought that.
yeah, they were disgustingly bad. Like when I first watched the game, I thought, oh, okay, this is brilliant. I was getting a bit hyped up. You know, I
Mhm.
saw all the stats with all our players, and then I rewatched it, and oh my god, they were awful. Even the goals we scored were kind of scrappy in a way. You know, like the first one with
Yeah.
Havertz, and then that own goal is just so that is a hilarious own goal. It's typical Tottenham, and
Yeah. It's a
hopefully that
hilarious own goal.
performance, hopefully that performance from Tottenham is making Conte go a bit more bald, like he was back in the day. But yeah, on a real though, it was good to have a performance like that, even if you know Tottenham are weaker than they have been in the last few years. You know, I can't believe I'm calling it a heyday because they won nothing. But you know, with Poch and where they were finishing second, etc., they're not as good as that anymore.
Yeah.
And we destroyed them, which is what you need. You need that to build confidence. You need a professional performance. And I'm glad that Lukaku played as well. I'm glad that he sort of got put back in there, can get used to the team again, can get used to the teammates. And I think it sort of, I think it put like a nail in the coffin for the bad run, hopefully. I think
I
that's sort
hope.
of a performance. Because do you remember I don't know if you remember, under Sari, we lost 6-0 to City, 4-0 to Bournemouth, and then we beat Tottenham 2-0 at we beat Tottenham 2-0, and after that we went on some really good form. So
Mhm.
hopefully it can be a result like that where we go on some good form now.
Yeah, I kind of thought that that's what would happen after the Wolves result, which I mean, it kind of did. I mean, we kept a clean sheet against Wolves, and then what was our next game? Liverpool. We were able to come back from Liverpool, which
We
was
played Villa and we
fantastic.
beat them. We beat
Oh,
Villa,
oh, oh,
yeah, and then we played
yeah.
Liverpool. I think.
So, yeah, being able to scrap a result against Villa the way we did, Liverpool. I'm sorry, against Liverpool the way we did was that was valuable, and we needed the team to step up like that and be more clinical like that. But back to that Spurs game, I personally felt, and you know what? Let me ask you first, Will. Again, do you think that game was a result of us having a formation change, or do you believe that Spurs were just that bad, or maybe you think it was a little bit of both?
I think it always helps to play to the strengths of your current squad. So changing the starting shape slightly was probably a good move, so you can get more players playing in their more preferred roles. Although
Mm-hmm.
formations, they can be a bit fugazi on paper because we sort of switched shape a little bit during the game into a 3 at times, and then back into a 4. So I think it was a very good option to do because we got to unleash a bit more of our attacking prowess, which we thought we had at the start of last season with all those signings. And Tuchel's always said is if you go back and watch his videos back at PSG Dortmund, even Mainz, if you want to go that far back, he
Uh-huh.
doesn't like to. He loves to try and get the best out of the creative players. He doesn't want to suppress any creativity,
Yeah.
which I don't really get why our fans sort of say we play like this terrible sort of stuff. I don't really understand it because
I don't think
it
it's terrible either.
like if you research on Tuchel, he's never wanted. He really does not like to play defensive football.
Yeah.
So, um, Tottenham were awful, but I guess you got to give credit to our players as well for making them look that bad.
Yeah, fair enough. I mean, my opinion on the game is I felt that Tottenham went out in that game and were expecting us to go attacking, and they were planning a counterattack.
Mm.
And they just didn't press us at all. It looked a lot like Jose Ball. I'm not gonna even lie to you. It looked so much like Jose Ball in the beginning. And when a team isn't pressing you, of course, any formation you play is gonna look good if you're attacking. Like even the 4-3-3. Like, and look, I'm not gonna sit here and deny it, but some of our players looked really good in that formation. They looked at home, at comfortable. Like, just to name two of them, actually the main two, Saul looked amazing, and so did Ziyech.
Yep.
Ziyech looked like he was in his back in like the Ziyech form that we saw under Lampard. So
Yeah.
maybe there is something to say about switching up the formation a bit and having some of these players play better. But in the end though, like I feel like with the 4-3-3, one, we only played it because Thiago Silva and N'Golo Kante weren't able to play that game because of COVID, I believe, right? So they weren't able to play, so we had no choice but to play the two in the back. And even when we played the two in the back, at times it was actually a three in the back.
Yeah.
I don't know if you noticed that. Like it would just
Yeah,
all they
Aspie
would
inverted
do.
a little bit. Yeah.
Yeah, and for the most part, it was Aspie playing as a three in the back with Antonio in the middle and Malang Sarr on the left. And Alonso would be pushing up towards midfield. By the way, this is another thing. I think that Tottenham were so bad that they even made Alonso look good. Like
Yeah, he was. He
they even
actually.
made Alonso look so good. Like Alonso looked really good that game, and I was in
Yeah.
shock because like this can't be Alonso. This has to be the team. Like
Alonso saw the Digne rumors and chose violence.
Alonso saw the Digne rumors and decided to step it up. I was like, oh. Apparently Alonso, and this kind of pisses me off. Apparently, like, if Tuchel screams at Alonso, from time to time, Alonso will just tell Tuchel to calm down, which is like, what the fuck? Who is this guy? Who do you think you are, bro?
Do you know that I'm pretty sure? Actually, no, I'm not going to say this stat because I don't know if I'm slightly wrong. But Alonso has now got 20 plus goals and assists for Chelsea. It's kind of crazy that he's been here this long.
Christ.
Yeah.
That's a stat right there. And yeah, he's been in here for a while. He's been here so long that some people forget that he played under fucking Conte.
Yeah, he's signed 5.5 years ago.
No, people forget that he was part of Conte's squad because people kept talking about like, oh, Antonio Conte's coming back to Stamford Bridge, and they asked him like I think even Conte forgot. I think even Conte forgot that. Oh yeah, I played with
To be
I
fair,
trained and Marcus. Yeah, yeah.
Alonso in that first season under Conte, he was unbelievable. Like he was phenomenal. Like he was arguably the best left-sided fullback / wingback in the world. Well, no, actually no, because Marcelo and Alba were better than him that season. But you know, you get what I mean. He was one of the best in the league.
In the league. Yeah. I mean, look, I believe it back then, but
Yeah,
you know,
maybe
this
not
club
now.
doesn't run on nostalgia. It's not like what club likes to. It's not like Arsenal, I guess.
Arsenal, Liverpool, take your pick.
Arsenal love to fucking bring up their old titles and stuff, and they love to pick the Chelsea retirees. Did you hear Willian? By the way, Willian came out in an interview and said he watched all the Chelsea games, and he's a Chelsea fan through and through. He's a proper Chelsea Willian.
Do you know what though with Arsenal?
Yeah.
They're not like though a Liverpool or Man United where their histories are like really, really prestige. Like they've got good history, but they haven't got like Liverpool, Man United history. So
no, they don't. No, not at all. But back to the game. So yeah, with this four in the back, at times it just turned into a three in the back. So I think this team, like, one, it goes to show that this isn't FIFA Manager. This isn't Football Manager, rather. This isn't FIFA. You can't just switch the formation and expect all these players to automatically know how you want them to play the formation. Because, like, Kai's not here. Kai likes to argue a lot that these players in the past know this formation. They've played in this formation. But, you know, it's not necessarily the formation, it's how you implement it. It's how the system goes. And even though we thought it was four in the back, it was a 4-4-2, which a lot of people are saying it was a 4-4-2, which is that's old school.
The whole formation talk, you know, like as we said, everyone talks about formation, how it's if we do this, if we switch to this certain formation, we'll do this, and if that. I feel like it's kind of old-fashioned. I feel like football is now, ever since Pep Guardiola has come to the Premier League, especially, and even way before that, football is now played with not by position, by roles. Yeah. I don't think it's like formations. I think Maurizio Sarri actually said this. He said exactly this, and I can quote him: "People who talk about formations in football don't know anything, but they don't understand the game," or something like that.
Yeah, so, I mean, I see what he means by that.
It's played with roles. So if Aspie's role won't change what the position says on paper, but it can really have a massive impact at different stages.
I think it goes to show too, like in that game, for example, Aspie's role in that game was probably to be more defensive than attacking, which is why he would always tuck in with the defense and play that three in the back. And then in that same exact game, everyone's saying Lukaku did bad. Oh, he was terrible. He didn't do anything. Well, how do you know whether or not Lukaku was told, listen, they play three in the back. I want you, or they play five in the back. Lukaku, I want you to take away two of those defenders, because let's get it right. Like, although our goals were very, they were on errors. They were very, like, you know, crappy goals. Like, they're scrappy as hell. Like, you take away those goals, we are still not making as many opportunities or scoring in either formation. You know, like it just goes to show again the point that we need better attackers up front, more clinical attackers. But that's another discussion. But you know, you saw how Lukaku in that game, he attracted two defenders at a time, multiple times, which gave Werner and was it Ziyech? Yeah, Ziyech, Werner and Ziyech all the space in the world they needed to do whatever the hell they wanted. And you know, it showed. It looked good. Like Havertz looked so good when he had space. He looked very dangerous. He almost scored a second goal, you know? And same with Ziyech. Ziyech looked phenomenal. Like Ziyech had all the time in the world to give the crosses, to take the shots, to make the through ball passes, the magic passes. He looked insane. And I think a lot of that was because Lukaku was able to attract defenders, and
He
maybe
pins
that's
to the defenders. Yeah,
yeah,
that's that.
and that's I think it's a tactical call. It's not so
That
much his call.
yeah, that's why I think a lot of people. You know, when Giroud was at Chelsea, a lot of people didn't rate
Yes.
him. They called him a slug and stuff like that. I mean, a lot of people did rate him as well. I certainly did.
Hmm.
He was the best in the world at pinning to a defender and bringing others into play.
Yeah.
He used to. For me, I love Pulisic. Yeah, I really like Pulisic. But
Yeah.
for me, there's no coincidence that Pulisic always played better when Giroud was on the pitch, because
Hmm.
Giroud would always bring him into play, whether that's pinning to a defender, whether that's holding up the ball. And I think if you can do that as a striker, I think you're a massive asset. And as well, like Lukaku can also score goals. I don't think
Yes.
that's Lukaku's like main strength of like his game. I just think
Hmm.
I think he can do it to a good level against certain opposition.
Yeah, he said it
So
himself. He's a very
yeah,
versatile player. He has many aspects to his game, which is good. We need something like that.
yeah,
Um, but yeah, that game, I think people are too obsessed with the formation. As we've seen already in yesterday's game, it was a one-off. I don't think Tuchel is like Tuchel probably wants to play four in the back. He wants to play this formation because you saw how great Ziyech and Havertz looked that game.
mm,
You know, that's the Ziyech we want, who was kind of like a right mid, like a hybrid, like
yeah.
right wing back, right winger. Like he was all up in that right side of the field.
Do,
But
you know,
we just
with
can't get that in our current formation.
you know,
And I
you brought
think,
up. Yeah,
yeah,
sorry,
yeah,
sorry. I was about to say, you brought up that Aspi also his role was to tuck in as well. I think that was also to help Marlang Sarr as well, because in other games that I've seen Marlang Sarr, especially in the stadium, he always looks so nervous when he gets the ball and he's under that bit of pressure. So
he's
when
like
Aspi,
very rash, you know?
yeah, so when Aspi tucks in, he has another passing option, which can either he has an easy pass to make, or it can make the opposition press sort of a bit more not disorganized. I don't think that makes sense, but it gives the opposition a bit more to think about, another option to think about, another player to potentially have to press, if you get what I mean. So I think it helps your defenders around you.
Yeah, I 100% agree with that tactical analysis rather. Sorry. I'm typing in some banners for a little later. But yeah, so let's talk about the formation and how it benefited Ziyech, because
Yeah.
I think even you can agree, because
Oh,
you haven't been Ziyech's biggest supporter, but I
yeah.
think you came to a point where like you just stopped because it just wasn't, it
Yeah,
just
like
wasn't
there's
worth
no
it at this point.
like his left foot. It's kind of
Mm.
frustrating because his left foot is probably the best at the club. That if you just had his left foot, he doesn't really have a right foot, which is kind of annoying. But not every player has a great weak foot, if you get what I mean. It's not
Yeah,
like
yeah,
it. I feel like he's a player where if he's at a I don't know. If you could name a team that's a little bit lower than Chelsea, that you could literally put him as a star player and build to just his strengths, I think he gets you. I think he would get potentially Bruno stats, but we're not
yeah.
at we're not Bruno this season potentially, but like Bruno of
Yeah, yeah, yeah.
past seasons. But you're not going
Mhm.
to get that at a team that strives to be more, and that's the thing with Ziyech. If you play him to his strengths, if you play him to his strengths, and everyone else around him can play to his strengths as well, he's phenomenal. But we don't have the chance to bring that player out of Ziyech, if you get what I mean.
Not in the three in the back formation that we
Yeah.
play. I mean, part of me also thinks, and maybe call me crazy for this, but part of me also thinks that in that game especially, he almost played like a wingback role, because he was coming back defensively multiple times to win tackles where Aspie would normally be.
Mm.
And it makes me think, like, would Ziyech work as a right wing back? Is that even a thing? Is that possible? Is he that good defensively that he can do that?
It's difficult because I wouldn't really say he'd work as a right wing back, but he's definitely
Mm.
better in wide areas because he tends to have a bit more space out there. He doesn't have to do the work between the lines. The thing is with Ziyech as well. I was always really critical of him, especially last season. But this
Hmm.
season, he's improved off the ball. So I said at the start of the season, the reason why I didn't go into Timo as much is because you could see what he offers off the ball when he's not having a good game. And now Ziyech is sort of starting to show. People are going to probably listen to this and think, oh, this is charity FC. We're just asking for people to run.
Yeah.
But you get what I mean. It's just
Mhm.
he has improved off the ball and fair play. He does look like he wants to play for us more than I think he showed in previous games, which I think under Tuchel, I think a lot of our players have actually improved off the ball. I think Ziyech has, I think Cho has. I wouldn't say Pulisic has because Pulisic just gets injured quite often. But yeah, I think Tuchel's had a big impact on the team in that sense.
Fair enough. And yeah, I mean, we'll see. I want to see Ziyech play like this more, but I don't want to compromise on the formation because I think with our current formation with the three in the back, we cover so many flaws. And one thing that people don't like to mention too much is the fact that I know last season in a back four, Thiago Silva worked with Zuma,
Mm.
but I don't think, as we saw towards the end, it started to capitulate. I don't think that's sustainable with Thiago Silva. I love Thiago Silva. He's absolutely phenomenal, but I think he's better off in a back three where he doesn't have to run too much. He doesn't have to cover too much ground, and he can just commandeer people to do the dirty work for him. And he's just like a backup, like, hey, I got your back if that doesn't work, because he's so good
Yeah.
at positioning.
The,
So that's one of the flaws. And then on top of that, just the midfield in general too is, I know the midfield worked really well against Spurs. We saw Jorginho play more of a regista role.
yeah.
But I feel like also having that midfield cover up more of that defense as well, so that we are literally a defensive block, helps us so that we don't concede as many goals. Because I know everyone wants this attacking football, yada yada yada, but you also got to keep clean sheets. Otherwise, you're just Liverpool.
Yeah, that is the thing, because you can't in football you can't please everyone. For example, if we change shape, and let's say for example Tuchel was to play Jorginho, Kante, and Mount, everyone would cry because Kovacic wouldn't play. Okay, then you play Kovacic over Mount. People would cry that Mount doesn't play because Mount's not a winger or a striker. Or let's say they drop Kante. People would complain because Kante was dropped. Or people would complain because, I don't know, let's say Kante had to play in a slightly different role that doesn't suit him. People would complain. People would start to complain again because, I don't know, Lukaku's too isolated. He doesn't have anyone near him. People would complain because Pulisic can't play in his role because he keeps getting injured and can't build any momentum. People will complain because Werner's either going to play on too wide or too narrow. People will complain. Oh, they'll turn on our defenders. They'll say they're not good enough anymore. They'll turn on Jorginho as well because he might get dribble past once or twice. Do you get what I mean? It's just
Yeah. People blow up one moment into something huge.
And then when we're playing potentially quote unquote better football, but we're not getting as good results, people will say, "Oh, I told you so. We shouldn't have changed shape at all." And it's like, no, you were campaigning for this, But I guess that's subjective though, and that's not really going to affect the team really. But I'm just comparing it to what people are saying. But
I'm just hoping. Yeah. Objectively, what?
If you look at the team, I don't really think a shape change is actually that big on the team. I don't think it's as big as what people are saying. I think maybe it suits some of our attackers more. But
It does.
Does it suit our whole team more?
I don't think so.
I don't think so either.
I don't think it does. I think we're in a three in the back system right now because it covers so many flaws. But it only works if we have wing backs, And right now we don't necessarily. Aspie's kind of a wing back. He can do the role, but he's very defensive. And then we have Alonso, so we still have wing backs technically. We just don't have the attacking wing backs that Tuchel wants, Which is. We'll get to the transfers and we'll get to some of these talks because it's important. But before we go ahead and move on to that, I want to get your opinion on that Saul performance, man. What did you think of that Saul performance? Were you really impressed?
I was quite impressed, yeah, but again, I've got to take into consideration that it's it is Tottenham, and it was a really bad Tottenham.
It was
But
a really bad
I
Tottenham.
I know Saul's been trash for a lot of the games, but Saul's a player that I really want to do well for us. Like, I really want him to do well. Like, he obviously loves living in London. He obviously does love the club. He got away from the horrible Simeone football, and he's loving life in London.
Yeah.
And I honestly hope he can kick on and really become a challenger in this team. I
Hmm.
don't know if he will, because he just seems like I just don't think he will. I don't think the club will be looking this in depth to players like Rice and Chouameni if they
Hmm.
were going to re-sign Saul. And obviously Gallagher's coming back next year. I just have that feeling that Gallagher will
I have the
become
same feeling too.
a first team player next year. And then you've also got Ruben and Gilmore and etc. I don't see him. I see him being on equal terms in the pecking order maybe now to Ruben, but I think Ruben has the. Obviously, they're going to keep Ruben after over re-signing Saul, because Saul's going to be 30 million. Ruben's an academy graduate, and I'd rather keep him because he's been better as well this season. So yeah, I
Yeah.
think Saul was good, and I hope he can continue it. But
Yeah,
yeah,
if Saul continues this, like in this form, especially how he played that game, if he can continue doing that, especially in the Premier League, I think he could redeem his season, because that beginning of the season was absolutely terrible. And I think all of you guys in the chat, which by the way, big up everyone in the chat. Thank you for being here. Make sure you smash that like. We appreciate you guys being here. We're gonna let you guys in and have your say towards the end of the stream, within the 45-minute mark or so. But thank you guys for being here. But I think most of the people in the chat agree that Saul, that beginning of the season was absolutely terrible. It was a bit of a shock, because I think most of us expected him to just kind of hit the ground running, which, I mean, I didn't fall for that trap. I fell for it with Timo and Kai and Ziyech and all of them, but I wasn't going to do it this time with Saul. But for having minimal playtime and for coming off the bench, having a few appearances and such, for him to have played that way was a drastic improvement. I think he's finally starting to understand the system. He's finally starting to understand what Tuchel wants out of him. He's finally starting to show up for the ball, being confident. I think that was a big thing for him too, is like being comfortable with the team and having confidence to show up for the ball. I think for that
yeah,
game, especially with Jorginho there, he showed up for the ball a bunch of times. And
mm,
like, I feel like a lot of our team don't show up for the ball. Jorginho is one of the only people that shows up for the ball every single time, which is why he's so effective. But I feel like a
yeah,
lot of our teams, especially in the midfield, don't show up for the ball. Most of the times, the attackers just Lukaku kind of shows up for the ball, but most of the times the attackers just want an in behind run, or like give me the through ball, like they're just ready to attack. And I feel like there's not enough people that show up for the ball, and that makes a
yeah.
big difference.
This is why I don't understand why people are so desperate for Jorginho to not be in this team. I don't understand
I
why.
can't believe till this day it's still happening.
Yeah,
You know?
we thought we were over that in May, but we were
Yeah.
maybe a bit naive.
Like I get it. When he came on, it did slow the pace of the game down a little bit, but it's just like, but we keep control. Like we kept
Yeah,
possession, like it's an important aspect to a strategy, to a different game. Like when you're up 2-0, you want to keep possession. You don't want to keep conceding chances and all that stuff. No, so it's just a different way of playing the game, and it's not wrong, it's not right. Like, it's to each their own. It's all subjective.
yeah,
But
yeah,
that game, I think, was great. I'm not convinced with the formation because of how we got those goals. If we had scored clear cut goals like top bins, 1-on-1 with the keeper, all that stuff, fucking, oh my god, Timo. What Timo did, first of all, Ziyech should have had a goal and multiple assists that game. What
yeah.
Timo did to Ziyech's pass was criminal.
Ah,
Because that pass was amazing. And
mm,
Timo's touch, wow. Where was that all season? Timo had a fantastic touch, and then he tries to chip Lloris. What are you
yeah,
doing, bro? What are you
yeah.
doing?
That's
Stop overthinking it. He's overthinking again.
yeah. I think because we're against Tottenham, I don't think those missed chances will like hurt us in any way. But
Yeah.
if we've got to like if that was in a different situation, you know,
Yeah.
we've got to worry a little bit. But yeah, I mean, I
That's exactly what I was talking about, Will. Did you
yeah,
notice when Jorginho came, we stopped conceding chances? That's the point. The game may
yeah,
have slowed down, but we stopped conceding chances. We kept possession more, you know? So thank you, the
yeah.
weekly update, for that insight.
It's it's just with Timo, yeah, with Timo. I really like the guy, and I don't like to cuss him or whatever, like a lot of people seem
I
to.
like him a lot too. You like him a lot better than Romelu now.
Oh, okay. I don't know about that one, Marshall, but
I mean, listen. When Lampard got sacked, what did Timo do?
he
Timo
blamed
came
on
out
himself.
instead. He
Yeah.
blamed himself.
But
Yeah.
then I don't know. I mean, I don't. There's not really many Chelsea. I don't think. Is there a Chelsea player that I out and out don't like? Like I don't like them. I might not rate
Barkley,
them, but I
Marcus
don't think there's
Alonso.
any. No, Alonso. Wait, did you say Alonso?
Yeah.
Nah, I love Alonso in a way because he's just shameless, and I love a villain. I love a villain, Marshall. You should know this by me.
You love a villain.
You should
Oh
know
my
this about me
god.
by now. But
Oh,
yeah,
that's so funny, bro. But all right, I mean, do we really need to talk about that Chesterfield game yesterday? We already knew the result was going to be a big result. I was surprised that Tuchel went out with such a strong lineup. I think that was brutal. But what surprised me even more, though, was that we went out with a really strong lineup, and we didn't score enough goals for having a really strong lineup. It was actually kind of disappointing of a game.
yeah, in a
Kind of
way.
disappointing that of all the players on that pitch, the standout one was freaking Hall. So what the hell's going on? I don't know if they just took the day off. They just wanted to, jog it out. Callum's goal was fantastic. I want to see him have the confidence to try that more often in the Prem.
Yeah, with Callum, all his goals are placement.
Try it more often, like there's no reason why. I feel like we talk about how our attackers aren't good enough a lot here with Kai. I've always said it. I just don't think our attackers are good enough and that they can't finish. But like, it could also be a whole mental thing. Because like you saw Callum with no pressure. He knows he's playing a 5th division team. He just went for it and it was a fucking worldie.
Yeah.
It was an amazing goal. You only see that in FIFA, like, so why can't you take that and translate it into the Prem where, like, I know it's faster pace, I know it's more pressure, but you find yourself in those spaces sometimes, Callum. Why not try it?
Yeah. He is a very good player, Callum. He's just got to.
He's got the potential.
Yeah, and I think he's got over that. Actually, I just realised. I was about to say he's got over those injuries, but the reason he got brought off was because he felt a tightness, I think, around his calf, was it? I think it was. He had
I thought he just got brought off for rest.
No,
give other players a chance.
Apparently, there was like it was a precautionary thing, like for a knock, and I was, that would be awful.
Well, hopefully not. We don't need any more injuries. This team is already fucking falling apart as it is, but that game yesterday too, like Ross Barkley, what the fuck, man? That was bro. It's 5th division, Ross. What are you doing, man? He had that one shot that almost went like into the corner, but still, bro, like it's just.
It makes me laugh that Barkley still plays for us.
It's just so bad, man. It's so bad. I was kind of happy for Chesterfield though. They got a goal. It was a little scrappy goal, but they got one.
Yeah, it's just it's why I like the FA Cup. Obviously, Forest beat Arsenal today as well, which was brilliant. A lot, it's what's good about the cup. Like you get smaller teams that get to have a good day out at the bridge, and it gets smaller teams revenue, and it sort of keeps a lot of clubs like above the water, if you get what I mean. Like it helps them survive. So I wouldn't say it was nice to see them get a goal. I don't think it's ever nice, but I'd say I was happy for their fans.
Happy for them, yeah.
Yeah,
I was happy for them. I thought I saw Chelsea fans celebrate too because
I think
their
they were
colors are
clapping.
very similar.
I think I was. I think I was actually told by a few people that they applauded, which was a nice touch. It was a nice
Speaking
touch.
of clapping, though, by the way, what did you think of how people reacted for that Lukaku goal? I think that was a perfect reaction. Just some of them were cheering him on, some of them just applauding him.
I
Nothing.
can't.
They
I
wouldn't go
don't even.
crazy.
I don't even know if that has anything to do with Lukaku. I just think in general, like it's a Chesterfield game. Like
Maybe.
if there's full on limbs for a Chesterfield game, then I don't know. You know, it's a bit.
Maybe. Do we know who we're getting next, or not yet?
Plymouth. We've got Plymouth our goal
Okay. Can we please rest our players,
at
Tuchel?
home as well.
Tuchel, can we please rest players? Because there's no reason why you should have been playing like Callum and Lukaku and all these people. Like, I get Timo, I get like Saul, but some of them like I don't know. I
I
don't
want
know.
to see.
It was just strange.
I want to see Harvey Vale start because I think he got a bit
Yeah,
done dirty with his sub.
yeah. I feel like he got a little bit done dirty. I think Sumsup Bell got done dirty. There's a few youngsters in that team that should have just been playing. So it was his
Marshall.
Achilles apparently. I hope that's. Oh my god, if it's his Achilles, I hope it's a minor thing and I hope it's a
This
precautionary thing.
this is a bit out of context, yeah. This is a bit out of context, and it's about the youth. But you know, we were speaking about potentially getting Livramento back in a couple of years. Well, he's got an injury which could see him out for a year with
Oh
surgery.
damn,
So that's a shame. But anyway, back to Chelsea.
it is a shame. It's. We'll come back to that I think because
With
there's a few players I want to talk about during this January transfer that I think it's worth mentioning the injuries and seeing what we're gonna get. So I kind of want your opinion on it, and I'm gonna voice mine obviously. But yeah, that Chesterfield game, it was a good game. We needed some players needed some minutes. We got it. Some players got the rest they needed. So all in all, we expected to win. We got the win. We move. And yeah, it wasn't that great of a game. Like it was fun to watch some of these players just do the things they did. Timo almost missed, but we move. January transfers. Boy, there's a lot to talk about. A lot of rumors, a lot of things that may or may not happen. But I want to start in-house first. So I want to start with the contracts that we need to renew, and I guess or renew or send off. So let's start off with this fella right here. Safe to say he needs to go, right?
Yeah.
Yeah, he's got to go. He's just not good enough. He's not good enough for the club. He hasn't been better than he's had some decent games, which I hope raises his value, but he just hasn't been better than Ruben. He hasn't been as of late better than Saul, I just don't think he's good. You agree, Will?
Yeah, he was
Wasn't able to perform against Chesterfield, bro.
like we should be able to profit off of him technically because we signed him for like 15 million and we loaned him out to Villa, which was a big loan fee, and overall the deal is probably not a failure, but it's just
who's gonna take him though,
Everton apparently want him to re-sign him.
Or Rafa Benitez. He'll probably appreciate you more. All right. As of right now, Will, that's assuming these players go in January, right?
Yeah.
As of right now, where do you stand with this fella?
Keep until the end of the season and then reevaluate.
Okay. I think I agree. I think with Saul, recent performances have been better. He's been showing improvement. I'm willing to wait. If he hadn't shown improvement in these last 3 games that he's played, I would have just said return him to Atletico. But he's been showing improvement and understanding in the system, so I think that's valuable. And I think he could potentially, especially with the amount of injuries we're getting, the rate of injuries, he could prove to be valuable. So we'll see. I'll wait it out until the end of the season, and then we'll make a decision. I don't think we're going to sign him. I think we're just going to do the loan for the rest of the year.
Yeah, maybe. Yeah.
All right. How giddy are you about this guy re-signing?
Oh, very happy. Very happy.
Dude, I hope he stays because I hope he stays even another year after this, depending on how he plays, because He's been so good. I think after next year, I think you can just call him a Chelsea legend too, because 3 years with the
If you
club,
win something else big, yeah, sure, do it.
like dude, I can't believe it blows my mind that at his age he's still performing for Chelsea.
Mm.
For Chelsea at this age. Most people at this age are at MLS. They've gone back to Brazil. You know, like this man is still performing at the highest level. I don't think he's gonna retire anytime soon. I think he's still gonna be playing football at like 45.
I think he's potentially a top 5 centre back ever.
Oh, easily.
Yeah.
Oh my god. But we're happy to have Thiago Silva back for another year. We need it because we're potentially going to be getting some youngsters in, and we're going to be replacing some old blood. We don't know what's going to happen. But if we do get some youngsters in, no one better to learn from than him, you know?
Honestly, as long as we keep balance in the squad, I don't mind how many youth players get. Because the thing is, with our youth, people like to moan about it and people like to say,
yeah, this comment just made me laugh. I'm sorry.
Why are we talking about
it's true though. Yeah.
People like to say, "Oh, why are we talking about this youth player? Why don't we just sign someone?" We've seen over and over again where we've had players already and we've signed players that have ended up being downgrades. Do you get what I mean? It's like we've Tuchel sort of found a balance of not overdoing it with the youth, but like molding a good number of youth players that are good enough in, like Chalobah. He gave Ruben what am I on about? I can't pronounce his name. Ruben gave Ruben a
chance.
Chance of remontada. Almost like you got Reece James and Mountain who are still in there. Hudson-Odoi, you know, we've got a lot of youth players and it's nice to see. It's always nice to see a youth player do well. It's always nice.
Yeah, for sure. And I'm not saying let's all be completely youth players, but listen, some of these youth players have been performing better than the players that we signed big contracts for. And I will not speak because I prefer not to speak because I would be in big trouble. Anyways, Aspilicueta, where do you stand on this? Because the way I see it, I'm 50-50. Part of me wants him to stay because he's just a Chelsea legend and he's all about the club and he wants to stay too. Yeah. Let's get it right. He wants to stay. He wants a 2-year contract, but unfortunately, you know, they only want to give him a 1 year, which he kind of should have known because that's what Chelsea do with players, unless you're Thiago Silva, which I mean,
even then, that's a 1 year at a time.
Yeah, 1 year at a time thing.
But in such a funny club like that,
right? It's so funny. It works though. It does work. Yeah. But with Aspie, like, I love him to death. But I saw him in that Liverpool game, and I saw how much he struggled to like keep up with the pace of it. Towards the end, just putting his head down and just sprinting as hard as he could with no gas in his tank. It was tough to watch that, man. It was tough to watch that. I feel bad for him. I just. He's great. He's amazing, but the decline is there. And I want him to stay, but he's not going to get play time. And I understand he wants to play for Spain. So if he wants to go to Barcelona, Xavi's there now. You know, he's probably friends with Xavi. He knows Xavi on a personal level.
Yeah. He's
got the professionalism, you know.
They're trying to sign a lot of Spanish players as well. Like they're pretty sure they've signed Torres now, haven't they? Which is a great signing for them if they can keep him fit and play him a lot. If he goes, I think, are they trying to sign Morata or is that fake news as well? I don't know if that's fake news.
I've heard that they're trying to sign Morata. Barcelona are, but is that bad?
Honestly, I would give him the 1 year and just say that's fun offer and put the ball in his corner.
If he wants it, because he wants a 2 year, you know.
And even if he wants, I think he's going to leave at the end of this season, and I could see it being announced that he's leaving very soon.
If he leaves, though, let's throw him a big party, kind of like what we did with Terry, please, because he deserves it.
Let's get him a. I don't know. Actually, this is quite bad of me because I only went a month or so ago, but let's get him a. Let's get him a place on the shed wall, you know, at Stamford Bridge. Get him a nice photo lifting the Champions League, you know, getting a plaque on the wall.
Get him a statue lifting the Champions League, please.
Yeah, Yeah,
Statue of
not a
Tuchel
statue,
too
not
while
a
you're at it.
statue. I wouldn't say a
No, it's got to
statue,
be a
maybe.
statue. Let's get a statue of Tuchel once we win the Champions League again this season.
I mean, to be fair to Aspi, he is on the front of Stamford Bridge, so holding the
Okay,
Champions
well,
League.
yeah, fair enough. I
Yeah.
mean, I love Aspie. He is my
Yeah.
captain, but if he's got to go, he's got to go. I get it. Rudiger. This one's interesting because I was convinced he was going to leave. I was convinced he was going to leave to Real Madrid, but all of a sudden, Real Madrid had pulled out.
And guess what,
And
Marshall?
what?
There's been a recent report in the last couple of hours, yeah, that Real Madrid apparently were offering 12 mil but pulled out because Rudiger was still trying to negotiate it. And now he's only got offers of 7 million net a year from PSG, which is like 125k a week, I think. So maybe he stays.
Listen, there's a possibility he stays. I think Rudiger wants to stay. That's the thing, though. Like, I don't think throughout this whole entire thing, I don't think Rudiger ever wanted to leave, but he just wanted that salary. You know, he wanted that salary cap,
and I think he deserves it.
I think he deserves it too. I really do. But yeah, this actually had a little bit of a turn for the best, and we'll see what happens. But Rudiger could stay. I don't know where I stand with it. I still think if there's a good offer, he's going to take that final contract and leave. If Chelsea doesn't offer it to him, reluctantly go because, Tuchel is the best manager he's performed under. But yeah, I think he wants to stay. And if Chelsea give him the contract, he stays. But it is the final contract of his career. So I get it if he doesn't want to,
if he leaves at the end of the season and he leaves like he's been very respectful right now. He's not saying anything to the press. He's only said anything. He's always said good things about us to people and whatever. If he wants to leave at the end of the season, fair play. You've won us, helped us win a Europa League, an FA Cup, and Champions League. Like, thank you for your service.
Yeah, exactly. I feel the same exact way. We'll give him a good goodbye as well. Last year has been phenomenal. All right, Christensen. This one was a complete opposite of the Rudiger situation. I thought we had him signed, and now
like
he's flirting with the Spanish.
Yeah. It's the Uno reverse card. Just been.
I know the Uno reverse card. It quite literally is an Uno reverse card. How do you feel about this, man? Does this upset you that he's like potentially thinking about leaving?
Yeah, I guess, but I think he'll stay. I think he will stay. I don't think the club are that stupid to let him go. I don't think they're stupid enough to let him go.
I just want to add C1 London here for a minute because I don't want him to like have waited this whole time and he has to go. C1 London, what are you saying, bro? You there? You're muted. I can't do that actually. So okay. I'm learning StreamYard as we go, ladies and gentlemen.
Yeah.
C1 London, you there, bro?
Yo.
What are you saying, brother? How you been?
I'm decent. How are you guys?
Yeah, I'm doing good. Thanks. Doing good.
So I didn't want you to lose your spot. What are you saying, brother?
I'm doing fine. With the transfer news, what's your guys' opinion on the desk guy that we're linked with?
Funny enough, you mentioned that because he's right here on my list. Well, with Dest, I was, me and Will have been talking about Dest a lot. I think he's going to be really good for Chelsea, especially under Tuchel. Attacking wise, he's got it. Defensive wise, he needs room for improvement. And the fact that this kid came from Ajax and was able to get into Ronald Koeman's starting 11, despite Jordi Alba being there and whatever other players they have in the wings position, I think that shows a lot about Dest. He's got the work ethic we know because he's American, and it's just Americans all have the work ethic for some reason. And I think he would be really good link-up play with Pulisic. They're already teammates on a national level. If you see Dest play at a national level, he's fantastic. He's really good. He's got a lot of potential. And under Tuchel could guide him in the right direction. He's young. He's only 21, I think. So there's a lot of potential for this kid.
Personally, I don't think he's good from what I've watched. Because I watched him for Barca in the UCL last season. He was poor defensively. And this season, I know Son is a very good player, but both legs he was poor defensively. and I've watched him a couple of times for USA, and I'm not impressed. And if you look at the right backs that we have let go, he's not better than them. He's not better than them in my opinion. Because if Des was English, would he get recalled? Would he be a name for Southgate? No. So that's how I look at it personally. But if Tuchel wants
I
him,
mean,
then it is what it is.
you also got to think about it this one too. C1, you're getting him for like 15 mil, 20 mil. It's so fucking cheap, and he's young. You know, like you. Okay,
Hmm.
Reese. When Reese first came to this team,
Yeah.
well, he was a little shaky. I'll be honest with you. When I first saw him under Lampard, the kid was a bit shaky. I had my doubts about him. I wasn't that impressed with him.
I'll be back one sec.
Yeah, go for it. But then we saw how he's just transformed in this club into this monster of a player. And I could see the same thing happening to Dest. I really could. I think under the right management, under the right coaches, Dest could really become a powerhouse in American football, but also in like just the world as a strong left back or a right back, because he can also play right back. He plays both positions.
Yeah, I know
So
he's
I think
versatile.
there's a lot of potential, and considering that we really only need someone to give competition to Chilwell, we need someone that can give Alonso some breaks. I think he can do the job. I think he could. He would be a bargain,
Hmm.
For 15 mil, you can't really. I mean, that's pretty cheap.
Yeah, possibly. I just feel like the players that we've let go, they're much better in my opinion. But if Tuchel wants him and thinks he can
What players do you
develop
have
him,
in mind? Like, what players we let go? Like Emerson, you mean?
not Emerson, Lamptey and Livramento, I think they're better than
Oh
him.
yeah.
And we have a buyback clause on Livramento. I know he's injured right now, but if you look how the way he's playing at Southampton, he benched Southampton's first right back that was starting consistently. So I'm just saying.
I mean, like I get it, why, but Digne wants how much of a salary does Digne
100,
want?
I
Digne
think
want.
100.
I think
100.
Digne wants double that. I think. I don't know. I don't remember.
Mm.
Digne is also going to be expensive. So like either way, it's kind of like we're gonna have to spend money regardless on that position, especially if we want to like.
Yeah, that's true.
Yeah, I mean, it's tricky. It is tricky. Like who do we go for? Do we go for Dest? Do we go back to let's might as well just go and talk about this. Do we go for Emerson? Do we go for Digne? Like there's options out there, but with the whole Emerson thing, I personally don't think Emerson is the solution to all of it.
Yeah.
But I can see why Tuchel, if he's calling this shot, I can see why Tuchel wants him back, because Emerson knows the formation, knows the tactics, knows the system, he knows the players. So to bring Emerson would be just to slot him back in. There's no adaptation. There's no learning the system. There's none of this Saul stuff. I think with Emerson, you get a player that can perform as soon as you get him. I don't know if you feel the same way, C1. Might as well. You know what? We're adding you to stream too. Might as well get your opinion on all this too.
That's true.
I think it
is true that he may know the system, but at the same time, I don't remember Emerson starting a competitive game at left wing back, which is a weird one under Tuchel.
Doesn't he do left wing back? Hasn't he played left wing back in Italy a few times? Maybe.
Yeah, he has, but I mean, like under Tuchel's reign, he hasn't played left wing back,
for sure.
Which is weird because I just feel like it's a bit of a PR move. Can't lie.
What are you saying, Hassan?
Yeah, man. With the whole Emerson situation, let's be honest, man. It is a PR move. It's the board has fucked up, but I don't know what they're gonna do with the left wing back situation. We're struggling to sell Emerson. They're literally saying to you, well, whoever he's gone to, I don't know. I think it's Rennes or someone, or Lyon, or whichever club.
Leon.
Emerson's
Leon, I
gone
think. Yeah, Leon.
Leon. Yeah. So I was gonna say, right, Leon are literally saying, no, we're not giving him back. So that means they're probably gonna buy him or trigger the clause. We've been struggling to sell players like him, and if we bring him back, you're gonna have Alonso, Emerson, and someone else to sell as well. You got too many dead
Baba
wolves to
Rahman.
sell. Barbara.
Can I just say, I never wanted to get rid of Alonso over Emerson. Or, I mean, the opposite. I never wanted to get rid of Emerson over Alonso.
Same.
I always wanted Alonso out first, you know?
Yeah.
But, yeah.
And that's
We'll see what
another,
happens.
and that's
This is gonna
another
be
reason
good,
we have so many left backs on our books that we need to get
We
rid
do.
of.
No, we do. So bringing Emerson
Chilwell's
may
the
not
only
be
left
the
back
best
that's really
solution.
seen.
Yeah. Will, what do you think about the Emerson situation? Would you take him back?
I don't mind, honestly, if we get him back. I don't mind.
I think it's a great way to save money for the club, but then you like these fellas down here just mentioned, then you have the potential that you get stuck with him.
No.
You have to get rid of him again.
No,
Yeah.
that's what's gonna happen then, Marshall. They're gonna take the player back off us again with the loan situation. Like they're not gonna do a loan with option to buy, so I feel like we should not get him back.
To be fair, though, I don't really mind Emerson as a backup anyway.
I don't either. I
Yeah, but
prefer
that's
him more
fine,
than.
but we shouldn't be.
I'll be honest with you. If we're gonna recall someone, I feel like Matson would be the guy.
I'd rather recall Matson, bro.
Yeah, exactly. Because Matson, there's no risk, and don't forget,
Yeah,
he's not.
but-
And you can easily loan him out again.
Thing is with Matson, I think you've got to take into consideration his playtime as well. and
Yeah, that's true.
development.
All right, so then another one we want to talk about, guys, is this guy, Digne. I think for the most people, this is their first choice, and you know what? For this discussion, I'm going to add Real Chris to the discussion as well. Welcome, Real Chris. Welcome. So yeah,
We're
the
not
Digne
getting him,
thing.
Marshall.
Yeah, apparently we're not getting him. That's the latest news. It's not
Going to
happening
Villa.
now.
It's confirmed almost, I think.
Yeah, he's going Gerrard, bro.
All right. Should we even bother talking about this, fellas? Fuck this Digne guy. We never
What?
wanted
Hey,
him.
no. But speaking of Gerrard,
We're not gonna get
Gerrard's
anyone,
not-
Marshall.
I was gonna say.
You really
like,
think that,
speaking-
though, Real Chris?
Yeah, because if you look at like Tuchel and the squad are still like second in the league right now. Okay, we can drop down to third. We're in the Carabao Cup. We could go to the final most likely. We're still in the FA Cup. We're still in the Champions League. We're in these all competitions, and they think, oh, this squad's still good enough. So I don't believe we're gonna sign anyone this season. Well, in
But
January,
we
we're
still
not
need
gonna
a
sign
wing
anyone.
back. We need a
Yeah,
wing
Emerson.
back. Doesn't matter
Emerson.
who.
That's what it's gonna be. It's gonna be Emerson.
But didn't that Leon thing? Didn't they already deny it? That's not gonna
No,
happen.
but we're having talks this week about trying to get him back.
They're gonna ask for.
It's
silly
most
money
likely gonna
to
be
get
him
back.
or someone dirt cheap if we can't recall Emerson. But I think we will anyway. So I really
Alright.
can't see us sign anyone really.
Guys,
Hey, yo,
I gotta throw a spanner in the works though. Will, tell me what
Yeah.
you think about this.
I'll take him. Come on.
Fuck it. Yeah, sure.
Yeah, bro. I can't lie, bro. I
You
can't-
motherfuckers really
Hey,
changed your
yo.
tune now, huh?
Yeah, Marshall. I changed my tune,
I
bro.
still say
Can't
no
lie.
to that.
but can I argue that? Can I repeat it? Isn't he basically a Cho on steroids?
No,
No. He's not as good as Cho, but he's a
That's a
really
howler.
good. He's a really good.
Cho.
He's a really good ball progressor though. Like
Yeah.
a really good ball
I just
progressor.
if and plus.
Have you
if
watched him
people-
play?
Yeah.
Yes.
Hey, yo,
No,
listen, right?
sorry, Will. I meant to ask him because he just compared him to
Oh.
Cho.
Oh. Okay.
I mean, the aspect is he's got muscle. He can dribble but can't shoot, just like Cho.
No, but
No.
but
But
Cho can
Troll's a
pass.
much better passer and
Yeah.
crosser of the ball.
Hey, do you not see Cho's
way I
brilliant
see
goal
it-
against Chesterfield? Huh?
Hey, yo, Chris,
he
you
has to
love
do that in the
arguing,
Prem,
right?
though, Chris.
Mm.
The way I see
Me-
it, though, if Adama comes to the team, him and Reese can be bench buddies, bro.
Oh, jeez.
Wait.
We'll have a roided out fucking right back position, bro. Let me tell you that. Lean muscle, man. Muscle milk right there, bro.
If we get like a proper like challenging wing back on the left side, we can have a Dom on the right. It's not that bad.
Adama's a clone of Timo. I don't think that's a bad clone then, Gerard. That's a weird ass clone that came out. But no, like, okay, if I'm being serious though, like, I think, again, these are like kind of like bargain buys. Des being a bargain, Traore being another bargain. Considering that we have like no depth in a wing back position, and this is the formation that we play, I don't think Adama would be a bad choice. He would be coming off the bench. He's not going to be a starter. He would give Reese competition. I think he would be a good option. I think it's still open. I think it's still in the air that maybe we could get him.
Oh yeah, I think that's a possibility. And with the whole left wing back situation, I think Cho's just going to be stuck there. One or Cho Pulisic. Like I think Tuchel's more worried about the right because if let's be honest, Reece James is out for 8 weeks, so he's likely out up until probably the end of Club World Cup.
He could
That's a long
potentially be
time.
out for the rest of the season, Reece James, by the way, ladies and gentlemen. Because it's I've heard different things. Like I've heard the
No,
tear is
Marshall,
really bad.
it's 6 to 8 weeks. He's hit the worst case scenario in terms of injury. He literally walked when
played
he got
Soda.
injured. When he walked out of the stadium, he walked out on crutches. So he's walked out with the worst case scenario. So he's out. So I'm thinking we're probably gonna get a right wing back, and then we're gonna do a flex tape with the Pulisic and go and stick him on left wing back.
Wait, so you guys really think we'll get someone like Adam Torre?
No.
You just called him
probably.
Adam.
Oh yes, I'm tired.
This fella isn't American, bro. It's Adama, okay?
Adama, whatever.
Adam Traore.
No,
Jesus Christ.
I definitely we're not getting him either. I don't think. Like
I don't.
we'll play.
I don't
We'll play
think it's
Pulisic wing
likely.
back.
I
We'll
don't
play
think it's
Cho
likely
wing
we're
back.
gonna get him. But like Hassan and I think C1 London just mentioned it, I think we do need to have depth in the right wing back position, and he would help bring that because Aspie may not be here next season, and he doesn't have the legs for it. And on top of that, Callum is the Dest equivalent of the right wing back, where he's all attack and no defense really.
Yeah,
So.
and Marshall, if we were to buy like a top quality left wing back, having Adama on the bench is not that bad if you think about it.
No, it wouldn't be that bad. And that's the thing, though. You're getting him because he's going to come into the squad, give competition. He's not going to start. It's not like we're going to drop Reece James. I think that's like the biggest fear a lot of these people have is that we're going to drop Reece James all of a sudden once we get Adama, you know? Like,
Wait, who thinks that?
people, probably people on Twitter. I don't know.
Like what? Gonna drop
don't know.
Reece James for Adama Troy? Okay.
Hey,
Like,
yo,
what
he's
does he
good at
offer
going
compared to Reece?
strength, pace.
Strength. You just said strength to Reece James.
He does.
Reece James is
I
natural.
think he is faster. than you.
Yeah. He's faster. I give him, that's about it.
Do you know what though?
Hey, yo,
Adama has...
Chris, all I would say in terms of FIFA, I want him, man. I want him bombing forward for FIFA 23.
Well, if FIFA, you can just buy him on your own team then and have that trash
What
on
are you
your
going
team.
to say, Will?
Adama has one weakness though. Well, not just one weakness, but one major
He's
weakness.
ticklish.
He always gets pocketed by Marcus Alonso when he plays against him.
That's a
Alright,
bit of a
Will.
worry, yeah.
Will, I know you like this player a lot. I think I know you like this player a
I
lot.
think
So
is it a certain player who plays in Germany right now?
no, I forgot about that player. I'm not gonna lie.
Is it a certain player that plays in?
I forgot. You know what? I'm just gonna.
Hey, yo, this is a
we're
guess
just
who,
gonna-
man.
I think
I'm
I know.
gonna just write this in real quick,
I
and
think
we're
I
gonna
know
skip
it is.
right to this.
It better be you, I
This
think.
isn't the player I was gonna pick, but
No, but who is?
I mean,
who
you
was the
reminded
player
me.
you're gonna pick?
I'll show you after this guy, Ginter.
Oh,
Apparently,
Ginter.
we're linked with Ginter.
Give me
What
2017.
do you guys think about
I thought it was Sane.
Ginter?
Chris, don't you dare say.
We're
Jesus
apparently we're
Christ,
linked with Mateus Ginter for center back, and I didn't know about this. I don't know how loud these rumors are, but would you guys be
I'm
happy
sorry.
if we got Ginter in the case that we don't get Christensen and Rudiger to re-sign?
I haven't watched enough of
Nah.
this.
Marshall, what team does he play for again? Because
That-
I'm
that
not
plays
familiar.
for-
Mönchengladbach.
Yeah,
Oh,
Mönchengladbach.
yeah, I know who you're about now.
Yeah,
I'm
he used
sorry,
to play
what-
under Tuchel and Dortmund.
Right.
That's
I
nice.
thought he played with them in Mainz.
That's
or
probably
something.
why we're linked with him, just because he's played under Tuchel. You know.
Like Usman Dembele.
Oh, I don't know.
Uh,
Okay, yeah, I wouldn't want Usman Dembele, but yeah, it's
That's
exactly
actually not
like
many
Usman
centre
Dembele.
backs. I'd rather
There's not,
someone
but I
like
think Ginter has
Kunde or
potential.
Delete.
No,
Mm.
not delete. Not in this system. Not in this system.
No,
Not in this
no.
I
system.
forgot about the licked.
Not
Hey,
in
what's
this
happening? We
put it on
change
the
the system
list.
next season, Will.
I like Delict, yeah. I think he's a good centre back, but not in this system. Give me
I said
Kunde
that-
or
Yeah.
Moving on to the
Bastoni
licked people.
or Kunde.
Ginter,
Bastoni,
all these
I
players
don't
who
care.
pretty much show me are like 2017 vibes almost.
Yep.
2017,
Let-
like the Conte window.
Yeah.
Yep.
Isn't Delict on 375k a week and also is under Raiola?
Yeah.
The
Right,
lift
all
would
this
break
and
the
that.
bank. I'm not gonna lie, and I don't think it's gonna happen in January.
No way.
I mean, we are linked
chance.
with another player, but it's probably not January
Yeah.
signing. That's Kamara.
That's why. That's
take
also why.
Kamara.
Like, I think because we're talking about the left back position, left wing back position, and C1. You probably like this. If I had a pick, it's gonna be in the summer. It's gonna happen, and it's gonna be either Theo Hernandez,
Yes.
Rafael Guerrero,
Yes.
or Spinazzola.
Yeah,
Now
I
you're
like
now you're
Spinazzola.
cooking. Now you're
Mm.
cooking.
I like
And those
Spinazzola.
are the big
I mean,
name
the-
signings. But
I mean,
as of
there
right
is-
now, we need something for January. You know what I mean?
Yeah.
I mean, there is one, but I don't know if Atalanta would send us Gosens.
Oh yeah, Gosens too. He's another
He's
really,
still-
really
he's
top.
still
Yeah,
striker.
and he's cheap. He's like about 20 million. You
I
can
don't
probably
The
want
thing
buy
is
that.
though, the thing is though with Gosens and Spinazzola is the same thing that we're gonna talk about, and this is the player I was gonna mention to you, Will. This guy.
Ah, yes.
they-
Yes.
Oh yeah, I
Are
like
they gonna
Fofana.
come back to be the same exact player?
I
Kind of
love
like how Van
Fofana. I
Dijk
love
came back from knee
Fofana, man.
surgery. He's not the same. You know what I mean?
It depends because he's so young. That's the thing. He's so young.
Marshall,
Yeah, Will, I wanted to ask you,
remember
'cause I
what
know
he
you
did
like
to our
him.
attackers last season, man.
Fofana.
You do like Fofana, right? Will?
Yeah. Oh,
I
actually,
love Fofana.
He
should I
likes
say
my
this?
FIFA.
Should I say this on stream?
Yes.
I'm trying to. Okay.
There's no filter. Say it.
Someone I know knows a certain Leicester player that said that Fofana was apparently going to go to Real Madrid in the next few seasons, and
Yeah,
it
I
might
heard
have
about
even
that
happened
rumor.
this summer if he didn't get injured, but he got injured. So
Oh yeah, I remember you told me that. I forgot about that.
yeah,
I mean, what do you guys think though? Like, do you think
take
Fofana
him.
could come into this club? Would you take him
Yeah.
despite recovering from
100%.
injury and all that?
Yes.
I'd
Yes.
take him.
Yes.
I think he's a very good centre back. It's funny how Arsenal.
He's not going to stay at Leicester. We all know this.
It's funny how Arsenal and Leicester both paid 30 million for Saint Etienne centre back, and Leicester got the better one.
Saliba's playing well though.
He is good. No, Saliba is good. Saliba is good, but
Yeah, I think Fofana's better as well.
yeah.
Gerard, are you talking about Marquinhos? Because I think Marquinhos is off the table.
Yeah,
Yeah,
he's extending his contract.
Bro,
We
and
might
don't
get,
forget that PSG gonna ask somebody ridiculous. They're gonna ask for like 100 mil
Yeah.
plus.
PSG aren't going to want to let him go.
you never know. We might get Marquinhos in 10 years' time.
Yeah.
In 10 years. He's going to be our Thiago Silva in 10 years. The new Thiago
He'd
Silva.
never be Thiago Silva.
Marquinhos Silva.
Nah,
Jesus
he is
Christ.
our
All right,
future though.
let's keep moving on. Fofana is a good shout. Potentially could be coming to Chelsea maybe in the summer. I don't think he hasn't recovered yet, so
I think
he's
he's
gonna
in
leave
training.
Chelsea.
He might be in training.
He's in
now.
training. All
He's
right.
definitely started recovery.
Yeah.
If he starts for Leicester this season, I have a feeling he's not going to be the same. It's going to take some time for him to be at his best again. So
Yeah.
that's up to Chelsea if they want to
And
take
that's
that
if he can
risk.
stay fit as well. Like, even if he can't get injured again after this. Like, he's got to.
Ladies and gentlemen, Koundé.
Yeah, sign him. Pre-sign him.
It
in
has to get
January.
done now. He wants to play
Honestly.
for the club.
Yeah, he tweets about it every 2
And
months.
speaking of Kunde, right? He's not far off challenging for the league as well, so he's pushing Sevilla up.
I'll have my
Terms of
say. I'll
detail.
have my say on Conde after Will.
Apparently, he's just not happy right now, is he?
No, he's
No, I
Apparently
think
not.
he was literally on a title charge, right? If he did like sabotage one of the games, and if they win the game in hand, they would have been joint with Real Madrid in terms of top. He was sabotaging everything, so that's why they're negotiating. They're willing to let him go for around £45 million. So that's
Oh.
about
Well,
50
let's see if they stick to their word because
Marsh-
you know what happened in the summer, man. They
Marshall,
just like
Marshall, you want to hear my opinion on Kunde before people
go for
kill
it,
me?
bro.
You see Kunde, yeah? He reminds me of a young David Luiz. Very good footballer, but as a defender, he's a bit suspect. I can't lie. He's a bit rash.
hold
Positioning is a bit iffy.
Big
He's
screen.
good. He's good in the air. He's actually decent in the air from what I've seen.
Yeah, I heard that.
Hey.
I just thought there's something about he has a bit of a bozo gene, a bit like kind of like David Luiz. He reminds me of that defender, and Will knows I love David Luiz, but as a defender, I don't rate him like that.
If
I
we
just love
very,
the, I just
very
love the
good.
fact that you called it a bozo, Gene. I've never heard anyone say that, but that fits David Luiz so perfectly.
honestly, if we're getting a David Luiz regen, get him in. I fucking love.
Yeah,
David
David
Luiz.
Luiz could bang one in from.
And
30 yards out.
plus, because he has the same agent as Sherman, it will probably happen anyway.
Well,
yeah, but see
funny
what,
enough,
see what,
Yeah.
funny enough, look,
Oh, you missed out on O in his name.
it was right there.
Oh, you missed the
I was gonna.
Chew many. I thought I had. All right, you guys get it. You guys know who I'm talking about.
That sounds like a dog, man. The way you said it.
I don't know, man. I don't know how to get easier names, people. These names are not easy anymore, man. Get names like get names like the African people, like Hope, Chance.
We're
Justice.
gonna call him Dave Junior. The way we could pronounce Aspilicueta's name, man. Call him Dave.
I'll still never get that.
But okay, here's the thing. Here's the thing with Koundé and Tchouaméni.
Oh, I love
It's very likely that if we get one, we'll get the other.
Yep.
Like, because apparently they've played together.
Mm-hmm.
They're good friends. They both want to come to Chelsea. I don't know if it's going to happen in January.
Both have the same agent.
Yeah. Yes. Thank you, C1. They both have the same agent too.
Did they both
look, man?
Did they both used to play at Bordeaux as well?
Yeah.
I didn't know that. But they're friends. They already got that chemistry going for them. I think January. Do you guys think it's going to happen in January, or are we going to wait for the summer for this? I think it'd be a mistake to wait for the summer.
It's not happening in January. It's not happening in January.
Tchouaméni is. Actually, I said to C1 before. I think I would love to sign Tchouaméni, but then loan him back for a year.
That could be a smart move, yeah. Like the Pulisic deal, like buy him now, so we got hands on him, and then so that the other club's happy, they get to keep him for the rest of the season.
Yeah, that's why
I would agree with that.
We should do that this January because Koundé we will get done in the summer because he just wants to join Chelsea. Where I feel like Shermani, if Real Madrid comes calling and Liverpool and Man United are up in the interest as well, so that he could be looking everywhere. I still think Chelsea are in the front heading, but if we don't act properly, he might not be here, fam.
Guys, honestly, I don't
want to lose out.
I would sign him on a permanent and not give him back and give him back not until this summer, until the summer after, when we actually need to get a new midfielder in, like a proper replacement for. I don't know. Let's say because Kante's injury prone, he's probably got another year off. Do you think he's got another year? Mate, 2 years after this, mate. I don't know.
I reckon 4.
I hope Chris, if he can stay at the top level for another 4 years, I hope. But
as long as we play him like 20 games a season, he's got that in him.
That's what I mean, Chris. We need him. We can't have Jorginho, Kovacic, Kante only playing 20 games a season in a couple of years' time.
Yeah.
So maybe...
No, just Kante.
Oh, what? So you're saying bin off Kovacic and Jorginho? Is that what you're saying, Chris? Is that what you're saying?
How is that? Wait, how does that happen?
Is that what you're saying, Chris?
You're putting words in my mouth, I feel.
Chris, the fraud.
Since Shrewsbury lost to Liverpool, Chris hasn't been the same, man.
I literally was at training when that was happening, so I don't know.
Nah, Chris, you
training with Shrewsbury.
That's not my chickhead.
Yeah, no, Chris, you were actually secretly playing for Shrewsbury. Your name's not Chris.
He was the goalkeeper, but he let 4 goals.
Hey,
listen.
Don't disrespect the keeper. Come on.
Listen.
Yeah, exactly, because it's you, Chris.
Just to touch on it with the whole Conte situation, the way I stand on it is that as it stands right now, we're already not playing Conte that much. Like Conte plays like every other game, and then he still gets hurt. So I think, Chris, you're being very optimistic when you're saying 4 more years of N'Golo Kante.
Yeah, why not? Like, he's not as a starter.
I'm telling you why not. I just think he's too injury prone to have that much of an impact.
Okay. How much do you reckon we could sign for? Tell me.
About 60 to 80 easily.
I think if we were to sell him at the end of this summer, which, by the way, ladies and gentlemen, I love Conte. I don't want Conte to go, but we have to accept, just like Aspie, that Conte is also kind of dwindling when it comes to staying fit. So it's the same situation with Pulisic. If you can't stay fit enough for the club, then you have to have the performances to counterbalance this, which Conte does. But is it enough? I don't know. That's up to you guys. But I think in the summer we can
Kante
sell him for
plays more
60.
Pulisic.
I'd honestly
60.
The thing is, though, after seeing Kante last season in big games, I'd literally just put, I don't care, put bloody injections in Kante's legs. I want him in the big games.
That fucked him. Well, that
Fucking
fucked him over though. In remember the final, that season anyway with Sarvi, apparently he had injections and everything,
Yeah.
and it kind of fucked him over in the long run. That fucked him over, I feel.
Yeah, but Chris,
So,
I
that's
don't care.
not.
I would do it just.
Yeah, of course you
I
do.
don't care.
You want to see
I
him
don't care.
suffer.
Yeah,
Chris,
I don't care if he
honestly,
suffers for
we
3-4 months
need
as long as
to-
he wins us another UCL, man.
Chris, in
He
20
dies for that
years,
trophy.
in 20 years' time, yeah, we're still gonna have Kante for 3-4 games a season, just injecting his legs. 60-year-old, not 60-year-old, 50-year-old Kante.
I like this.
Chained up.
I like this opinion. I like
Yeah.
this view of it. I think I do agree. I think bringing in Tchouaméni would help so that Conte would need to play less, and because apparently Tchouaméni is very much like he's very malleable. He can play
He's
the
a
Conte
box-to-box
role.
player.
He can be a box to box. He can also play the Regista role like Jorginho does a little. So
Yeah,
I think
I don't think
I think-
Regista actually. I don't think he can.
well, not Regista, but very similar, like possessive, hold the ball, pass.
He can
you
play.
know, keep
He
possession.
plays, he plays more for Fernandinho role than Jorginho. Kind of.
Okay. So with Tchouaméni, I think if we can get him in the January window, that'd be fantastic. I don't see it happening, but I also don't want to lose out on him. Koundé,
Yeah.
I think, can wait until summer, but we get Tchouaméni. I think we'll be good. I think Conte, I think I'll give him as far as next summer. I think by next summer we need to consider maybe parting ways with Conte, depending on how fit he's been the whole season. But even this season, where he's been on and off playing, it's been kind of a struggle. But moving on to the final,
Wait, hang on, 1 sec.
Go
He's
for
played
it.
more than Pulisic this season, right?
Yeah,
he has, but
I
he's still
think
been
so.
injured.
Well, there you go. Yeah, he's injury prone, but like he's still playing more than Pulisic, and Pulisic stays in. I think he's played more than Ziyech, and Ziyech stays. So
Chris.
I don't know.
Well,
Like I
Ziyech
feel
is
like
booty.
he's
Chris. We're not.
Huh?
No one's saying that Kante's not been good,
I know.
and I don't even agree necessarily. I don't really. I'm not really going to put a date on when we need to evaluate a situation, because we'll know the date when it comes. He's still at a world-class level at the moment, as he proved in the Champions League. So, yeah.
Look at the
With
Liverpool
me,
game as well.
it's
Yeah.
something to keep in mind, But the last guy I want to talk about, I'm pretty sure I know the contract situation won't allow it to happen, but we're talking about Tchouaméni. We're talking about the midfield. Where do you guys stand with Billy Gilmore?
I would love to recall him, but we can't, sadly.
If you could recall him, though,
Yes.
would you
yes.
want to, or would you just rather
Yeah.
him develop under in
No,
Norwich?
Norwich.
He's not.
Not Norwich.
I'd recall him, and I'd give them Barkley, Alonso, and maybe not Alonso actually. I don't know. I don't. Alonso.
Man doesn't want to
pretty
have
bad.
the wing backs at all.
We'll give them bloody Barkley. I don't care who else. Name other players.
Drinkwater.
We'll call back
Lewis Baker,
Batshuayi and give
Lewis
them
Baker.
Batshuayi. We'll give them Bakayoko as well. Sure, do it.
All right.
I appreciate
No,
that.
Bakayoko's gone.
I would like
Coming
Gilmore
up.
back, but also, how does Tchouaméni coming into the team affect Gilmore's playtime? We
That's
also have Ruben
the
Loftus-Cheek,
That's the
Saul
thing.
potentially.
I
There's
think-
a lot.
I think we should recall Gilmore then send him on loan to Brighton if Potter's still there.
You know what? Brighton seems like a suitable team for him. He would.
Yeah,
How
Yeah,
about
if,
this?
if
How
Basuma
about
and
we
Potter
do
don't
chess? I was gonna say, how about we do chess with them? We take off Basuma, we give him Gilmore on loan for him.
they ain't accepting
Play
that. bro.
chess, bro.
They ain't gonna do that. They're not gonna do that. But with Gilmore, I do want to see him in this team. I think he's finally getting ready to play more. I think if he comes to this team, he has to accept that his role is not going to be as a starter, but as rotating midfield, like everyone else in this team. No one is like an out-and-out starter outside of the closest one being probably Jorginho, and even he gets rotated. So being part of that rotation, maybe with Ruben Loftus-Cheek as well in there, maybe with Tchouaméni in there as well. We don't know. But it's gonna be interesting. It's gonna be interesting. I think we got to keep an eye on Billy Gilmore. We can't let this opportunity pass us. But I that's about everything when it comes to transfers as of right now. If there's more transfers, we'll probably talk about it in the next show. Some more
guys
solid
heard
rumors.
about the Rafinha links?
I thought he was going to Bayern.
Apparently, us, Liverpool and Bayern are all linked with him.
Well, if we are linked to Rafinha, please bring him to the club. I want Rafinha. Give me proven clinical attackers. I don't know what happened to Will. I think he died. But guys, thank you everyone for being here. Shout out to Will for co-hosting with me because Kai couldn't in his absence. So hopefully Kai will be here next week to join us. He's just busy with work. He just had to catch up before all this other things. It's just work. But yeah, guys, make sure before you leave, smash that like button. Thank you everyone for being here. Subscribe if you're brand new to the channel. Check out the links in the description. We have a bunch of other content on there you can check out. You can follow us on you can check out my content there. You can follow us on Twitter or follow Kai on Twitter. You can come to the Discord and all that fun stuff. Make sure you leave a comment. Let us know what you guys think about the transfer window, what you guys want for Chelsea, what you think is actually reasonable and possible in the January transfer window. And yeah, thank you guys, everyone, for coming here. And as Kai would say, stay healthy, drink water, breathe air, don't do drugs, and have a wonderful night. We'll see you guys next week. Peace.